Glad to have you back on the program Meet the Discourse right here on Global TV, coming your way live and direct from Nigeria's capital city. On the second part of the program, we are looking at the implementation of the Stephen Oronsaye's committee recommendation, which is being sent right as we speak to the, of course, talking about the members of the National Assembly. On today's edition of the program, we'll be looking at the plus and minus of this. Is it going to be visible in Nigeria? Is it coming at the right time? Or what should we do? Should we totally implement or perhaps take a look at some of them and find lasting solution? To have an answer to this is a public commentator. He's right here with us in the studio. I'm talking about Barrister Dominic right here in the studio. The Lord, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's go. Of course, Nigerians are talking about the committee which has been finally presented to the executive, and we are told that it's getting closer to the lawmakers to implement, where a lot of government agencies have been made. Some have been having new nomenclature. What's your take on that?
Okay. Yes, thank you very much for that question. You know, the Oronsaye report is so germane that the trend of the nation now requires such to move the nation forward, because the country, as it were, is drowning. And what causes this drowning and leakages and possibly wastages in the country is a proliferation, that's the multiplicity of government agencies that are more or less not important, that are not yielding results. So, the thing that the government, as it were, and I really commend Mr. President for ordering that the Oronsaye report that has been, abandoned by the previous administrations. I would say administrations in the sense that even the government that even initiated its, constitution, and thereafter the report didn't even do anything before it left power. And thereafter the subsequent government, which of course is that of President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president. Nothing was done. So, as you asked, that report is so germane and it is round peg in round hole as things are in the country now. So that's just my take. It's very, very germane.
But many argue that there will be a lot of unemployed. Is government planning to send some workers back in to achieve this?
Well, as the report went then, the report came forward to say that over 100 heads of parastatals, government parastatals, may end up losing their jobs. But that notwithstanding, there is a way this present administration, couched and was able to streamline the whole issue about the report and the possibility of people or heads of government and extensively some employees not to be disengaged or lose their jobs. In other words, the government will streamline a way to see how the various persons that have been manning these various agencies to be, infiltrated or shuffled into other agencies, possibly, and more importantly, that result will yield. If there is any agency that possibly will not yield any result, I think the government should not hesitate to scrap it, and whoever that will lose his or her job, should go. Because we cannot sacrifice the favoritism at the altar of profitability. So just the way I said it, the government knows what to do, not to complicate issues for itself. with a view to streamlining and cutting down and restructuring the various agencies. So we are not scared of that. I don't think the government is scared of that. Yes.
The Stephen Oronsaye's panel was set up in 2021 by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. The committee submitted on paper a total of 800 pages of document, and of course on April 16, 2012. The question now is why did it take successful administration up till this period that we are thinking of implementing? What was in the mind of the then president who constituted this committee?
You know, that's a good question. You know, there's this, I don't know how to call it, by successive governments, this attitude of not trying to implement. This is not only what will I call it now? It's not only the report. A very, very important thing the successive government would have at least implemented. This is not only, you should remember the national conference. That's part of it. So there's this attitude of successive government to see how they can always, you know, abandon things that they ought to implement with a view to carrying to moving the nation forward, trying to see how they can always bring forth theirs with a view to, you know, I don't know, to play into the gallery. That's just what I'm taking. Otherwise, what will make a government not to implement such a report that would really ensure that there's, you know, wastages. I mean, they avert wastages and things that really make, they bring forth savings for the government. So in a nutshell, there's this attitude of successive government not having that ability or that penchant. They have that penchant of always trying to see how they can, you know, bring forth theirs. To be seen, for me, they are being seen as playing to the gallery instead of facing the reality and, you know, what ought to be done as such a report.
But these very agencies we're talking were all government-established agencies. There could be a reason why government felt it was right for, first of all, to set up these agencies, and not to say the same government is still asking that they want to send this government back in. And of course, that looks like a lot of people will go home unemployed. That could be the reason why some successful administration have felt, perhaps, let me just pass the battle to the incoming.
No, you will not say that, you know. It is what, just where I said it now, it is very, very important that ought to have been done by any administration, not to see how they can pass it to any successive administration. Because, okay, look at what this past administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, the debts and all of that, the administration incurred, you know, in this country before it left. All of this, if that report was implemented, at least there were some, you know, savings that would have been done for the government. So I don't say it that way. I say that government just trying to, you know, overlook what is important to be done by it. Particularly, the presence of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari had that penchant for it. You understand? So that's just it. That report was set up by the then President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan in the year 2012.
In the year 2012,
yes.
And the implementation is coming after a very, very long period. Some are commending the president of taking the bull by the horn, but some are arguing that there will be conflict of interest, that some of these organizations are still there. Now, take for example, government established Federal Ministry of Transport, the same government established Federal Ministry of Aviation, and you're asking yourself, these are the same movement. So why having two ministries and all these ministries? You can't fight economic with this type of budget, because every ministry, every department, full-fledged administrative running, I think is good for the step government has taken, but there will be a lot of people that will go down the road.
Fine. Just where I said it now, there's no two ways about that. Certainly people must go, because the country needs that now. And I said, just where I said it now, I commend the leadership of the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for ordering the implementation of that report. As you also hinted, why the creation of some ministries that could have as well be doing the same thing, that's another lapse of this administration. Fine and good, just where some of us are commending the administration for ordering, just where I said it now, the implementation of that report. That notwithstanding, you can see that the administration also goofed ab initio. What do I mean? At the inception of this administration, you can see it's only this administration that have overbloated, ministries, just the way you hinted. If an administration has that, mindset of, pruning or cutting down governance, why will such administration be having ministries up to going close to 50? It's absurd, and it beats imagination. So that's the area that this administration, in spite of the commendation it is receiving now by virtue of the ordering of the implementation of the Oronsaye report, that's the area it goofed. And I believe, despite the fact that two ministers are not on ground now, I believe it is still germane for this administration to show good example for more pruning and rationalization of its own ministries, despite the fact that, despite the ordering of the implementation of the Oronsaye report, which has to do with the pruning and rationalization of government agencies and parastatals. So that's just my take on that.
The committee suggested, for example, that of the Controlled Disease Office
sure.
to merge with NACA. That looks a little bit okay, but there are certain agencies that one felt that they should have been a second thought. When you merge Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria and VON, what happened to the NTL? It still boils down to that expertise and what the government should, the area it should look into. By the time you are saying that what happened, when you said what happens to NTA, if that aspect, if the government feels that aspect will not yield much result to it, so be it. Who should swallow who? That's where I'm coming from.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, the FRCN, which is our traditional
yes.
Radio,
yes.
and then the Voice of Nigeria, which was established to counter and propagate government activities beyond the boundaries of
yes.
Nigeria.
Yes.
Now, who swallows who?
The VON should swallow because it sounds biggest there among the three you are mentioning. So? Yes, the VON, it houses them. NTA is just an arm in it.
No, I'm not talking of NTA. I'm talking about the Federal Radio Corporation with its branches all over the country.
Oh, okay,
of
okay.
Course, and Voice of Nigeria. But among the three of them, NTA is bigger than all of them.
And Nigeria Television Authority?
Yes, it's bigger than all of them. There is no state in Nigeria now that you don't have NTA.
Okay,
and
in that light.
State you have 2 or 3 and 4. So what will the name be?
Yes.
Because now it's like VON is taking over the FRCN if
yes.
the report is going to be implemented. So we will not have Federal Radio Corporation. We will now have Voice of Nigeria, which means Voice of Nigeria will stand. But if you put it with NTA, so how will it look? Is it radio, TV kind of stuff?
Are you saying to just oppose the two now? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
The bigger one should hold sway. The bigger and the more profitable one. That, you know what government is trying to gun at now has to do with profitability.
Oh, really?
Not wastage. Yes, not wastage. Anything that will come that will bring in any wastage. Because that's what, yes, that's not
so
wastage.
The primary focus of government of today, is it business or the welfare of its citizens?
Fine. You cannot say it's business directly. Fine, the welfare of citizens, but you don't to be, trade at the altar of profitability. Because it is when there's profit that the welfare of the citizens can still come to play. Because as is also spelled out in the Constitution, its primary function of the government is to cater for the welfare of its citizens. If there's no profitability, how will the citizens be taken care of? By extension, even the persons that will possibly be manning the various ministries and agencies. So what I am saying is we are not trying to put aside the welfare of the citizen of a country, but profitability, what will yield results to the government. That's what it should be gunning at.
Barrister Dominic, Yando is my guest on the program this beautiful day. Right here in Nigeria's capital city, we are looking at the implementation of the Stephen Oronsaye's committee report, which will be committed and Nigerians are waiting. Now, it looks like the head of service
Yes.
will have a hectic task
Sure.
to start doing this. So at what point, which of the DG will come out to be subordinate to which of the DG, or what yardstick will be implemented in terms of who heads
Who has who?
ministry? Yes, that has emerged.
Okay, good, good. You know, is still that question still comes into what we had already addressed. You know, the various agencies and government will look at the one that is more, I mean, that is more viable, as it were. You just mentioned some ministries now. Okay, that report, if I may make reference to it, the way it was originally, like EFCC and ICPC, they were also earmarked for, you know, possible measure or one will be scrapped. So in that light now, you will look at the two bodies, the one that is more effective. And you and I will agree that EFCC is more effective than ICPC, as it were, because most times it is.
So?
Yes. 100%.
They're not beating their drums? Or?
No. You know, I'm a practitioner. I know I don't need to go into all of that.
Okay.
We know I'm not trying to also say that ICPC, they are sleeping or they are kind of in deep slumber. But that notwithstanding, you and I will agree. If I should put this question to you now, which of them do you hear more? EFCC, no, fine, you also be, but I will tell you.
It's because EFCC is more closer to people.
How do you mean closer? What closer?
We feel them, we see them, but that doesn't make them kind of a superior or they are all government agencies and they were assigned to play specific roles. And if they are coming together now, you talked about EFCC, ICPC, one must have a way of overriding. I do not think that any of them has more superiority over.
Okay, well, I have to share my opinion. Okay. And from what I have, what we have seen so far.
You work with them day to day. So
yes, we practice. I'm just trying to say we're practitioner. We see, you know, ourselves in court every now and then. And who do I see more? Whose lawyers do I see more?
Who has been winning the case, barrister?
Who, as you mean winning the case?
No, I mean the cases with EFCC and the cases with the ICPC.
Yes.
And if they go to court, who normally wins?
Inside EFCC.
Oh, EFCC.
They are more effective. They are more effective because I'm telling you, because we are practitioners.
Are they more effective or they are more effective in whistleblowing? Which of them are really?
It's not whistleblowing.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying to be factual and it's what plays out. Yeah. I'm just telling you, you know, it's not whistleblowing. You see more of EFCC. So in a nutshell, what I'm just trying to say is that EFCC can also do the work ICPC is doing. So ICPC should be scrapped. From my own opinion, it should be scrapped. Let all the whatsoever duties and all of that be incorporated into that of EFCC. So everybody, maybe if you don't say the manpower, they can also be incorporated. Let everything be carried along, rather than have it to agency as such, because they overlap at times. They overlap. ICPC, at times you see they will come and be doing that of EFCC. Same with the police. You'll be wondering what's going on. They do overlapping. Fine and good. That's just my take. And I believe the one that we should swallow, as an example, the one that should swallow each other there, or the ones that should swallow the other, is EFCC should swallow ICPC. That's my opinion.
Well, that's how far we can go on today's edition of the program, Midday Discourse, right here on Global TV. My guest has been Barrister Dominic Ayedo. He says he's stumping up for EFCC. When we come back in subsequent edition of this program, we'll be looking at some of this ministry that you think should go and to stay. Barrister, I feel like saying thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Midday Discourse returns tomorrow right here on Global TV. My name is Clinton Agwayuk. Saying do have a wonderful day, Nigeria's capital city, and wherever you're getting us loud and clear. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'm out of here.